As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff Iafrate and Booner, who will be joining us in a couple of minutes. We are live. It's Tuesday. Booner's battling the snowstorm right now. He is on his way. So he'll be joining us. We got Kory Woods today. We got Eric Vincent today, who covers the Detroit Pistons. We'll talk to him later in the show. Help us kind of navigate through this Anthony Davis stuff. Roster moves by the Lions. Dan Campbell spoke to 97, won the ticket. I have some quotes from him that I do want to get to, some very important ones. Things, at least things that I thought were very interesting that I do want to discuss with you guys. We have our Top 10 Tuesday today. Me and Booner will give out our Top 10 NFL teams. Are the Detroit Lions a Top 10 NFL team? That's the question to really answer. But yes, the Lions made some roster moves. I will get into that in a second. I hope you all are doing very well. How are we feeling today, or tonight rather? You got the Rams game this week. You know, I saw that there was a very, I don't know if it was it was a weird roster move considering what they got going on at the tight end position. Ross Dwelley was released. Arthur Millette was brought back. I don't know what's going on in this tight end room. I really don't. I don't know. I think Shane Zylstra might be working his way back. He might be very close to coming back here. But here's what happened today. The Lions signed cornerback Arthur Millette to the active roster, waived tight end Ross Dwelley. This makes me and Booner look like an absolute ass. We had Ross Dwelley to score against the Cowboys, and in a couple days' time, he is released. So he is waived. So yeah, Ross Dwelley, me and Boone had high hopes for him in that Cowboys game. Did not do a damn thing. To be honest with you, the tight end room without Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra has not done a damn thing. They are getting little to no production out of that tight end room. So maybe with the return of Shane Zylstra, who once upon a time, believe it or not, had three touchdowns in a football game. Think about that for a second. Shane Zylstra, 3 touchdowns in a football game. He did that in a Detroit Lions uniform. So I think he will definitely be a little bit of juice added to that tight end room, at least someone who's more of a respectable receiving threat with Brock Wright out and Sam Laporta out for basically the season. So that is good news. Cornerback Arthur Millette, by the way, I'm surprised he didn't get picked up already by another team. He was playing pretty good football in Detroit, and they brought him back. You know, more depth in that corner room. Which, in reality, I think I'm more worried about the safety room, which they did add DeMonte Kazee. Yeah, I don't know. Thomas Harper still in concussion protocol. That safety room gives me more concern than the corners, if I'm being honest. More concern than the corners. So maybe Millette could play safety, like Steve Wild said. I don't know. John Johnson. Now we're talking shift god. See, John Johnson, for those who don't, if you've been watching in the NFL over the last couple of years, you know who John Johnson is. Productive player. I really like John Johnson. It's a random player to just like, I know, but trust me on that. I like John Johnson. Go look him up. Go watch him. I used to watch, this is a terrible thing. I mean, I don't know if this is something I'm proud of, but it is just a reality. Depends on what side of the Lions fan base you are a part of. But when I watched the Rams with Matthew Stafford, I did watch a lot of games. And one player I kept noticing was John Johnson. And I think he played, I have to double check this. I think he might have played with the Browns. I could be completely wrong on that. Let me see. He did. Yeah, he did. So he was with the Rams. They drafted him, 3rd round pick in 2017. I mean, look at the production. Here, let me show you guys this. I wouldn't mind John Johnson coming. He's probably, honestly, and if anyone knows him, it's definitely Brad Holmes. I mean, he was with the Rams. I mean, Brad Holmes literally scouted the guy. So Here's John Johnson's production throughout his career. I mean, he's been a pretty productive player. He's not old. He's 29 years old, but look at, with the Rams early on, he had 1 pick as a rookie, 4 picks, 2 picks, 1 pick, 3 picks, 1 pick, 2 picks, at least a pick every single year. Look how many games he's played in. 16. He missed some games there in year 3, 16, 15, 17. Played in 2 games last year. I don't know the reason for that, but I do know that he's a very, very solid safety. Very solid safety. And again, Brad Holmes would be familiar because he was with the Rams when they drafted him. So, which also makes me think, is there something maybe I don't know? Probably. The Lions have more information on some of that stuff. Is there something I'm missing with John Johnson? Probably. I don't know. They worked him out. They chose to sign DeMonte Kazee. I don't know what you can gather from a workout. Maybe he wasn't in great shape. I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be, but I know the more productive player has definitely been him. He's younger, so there's things that go for that are going against the other candidates, but who knows? I don't know. They just decided not to go with him. Booner will be joining us shortly. Again, he is driving in a freaking snowstorm. I don't know. It's going to snow tonight. Be careful. It's going to snow all night into tomorrow morning, so it's going to be pretty bad. And Booner will be joining. Robert Jones, he appreciate the comment. He says, "What's up, Jeff? Do you believe AQM will be consistent?" Well, do I believe he will be consistent? Well, I will say this. We have a good enough sample size to know that he is not consistent. I know when he is on, he's a very productive player, but I've always said this, AQM, I've never came at him for his skill set. I think he's a very interesting player because he's having a career year. He's having a great year. He's been very productive in games. But then there's some games that, what is it? What's the saying? Water always finds its level. Like he kind of just comes back to what he really is, which is a very solid rotational piece. But man, he's had some massive games. 3 sacks. He's had a game with 2 sacks. He's had a game with a sack and a half. The stretch to start the year was an amazing stretch of games. He honestly, he's having a great year. I don't want to take anything away, but is he the long-term answer next to Hutch? No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't believe so. I think he could be kind of your James Houston, where you have him as a, situational guy, and he can go get you a sack and be productive for you on a year-to-year basis. But he's not an every down edge. His snaps went down over the last couple of weeks. He had a good amount of snaps against the Cowboys. He played really well. But, I wouldn't. People are going to bring up the I see it top 12 in sacks thing. It's like, and again, I'm not trying to take away from the year he's having, but is he the future next to Hutch? No, he is not. That is still something the Lions need to find. They really do. Just like James Houston, I never thought James Houston was the answer next to Hutch. Even if James Houston was on the team right now, I would still tell you guys, yeah, he's a good player, still needs someone next to Hutch. Long-term, every down guy, someone that is more well-rounded. Like, it doesn't take anything away from the player. It's just kind of the reality. In my opinion, he's not the answer next to Hutch long-term, but he is a solid player. He is a very solid player. Shift God says, wouldn't be shocked if Sunday's an off game for our defense. So it's actually, it's interesting you say that, Shift. So I'm going to go through and play some of these Dan Campbell clips. Boone will join, give his thoughts. He spoke on a couple of different things with Jim Costa and John Jansen. He did speak about the Rams game from a couple different angles. He did speak about Miles Frazier, which I'm a big Miles Frazier guy. We'll definitely play that clip. He spoke about Kirby Joseph and him potentially playing. He spoke also about the defensive line, and because he was asked, John Jansen essentially asked, "Hey, how do you get a performance like that more consistently?" That's essentially what he asked. Hey, that defense, that really the defensive line. I think if I'm not wrong, I think the question was more so about the defensive line. He asked him, how do you get a performance like that more consistently? And his response was, well, you're not going to get it every game. There's matchups for certain games that are better than other games, which that's 1,000% correct. Obviously, you've seen it throughout the season. There's some favorable matchups in which the Lions feast on. And then there's other ones where maybe it's not as favorable. And I think that's just the NFL partly, but also another reason for that is because this defense, in my opinion, lately has been extremely inconsistent. they've dropped off from what they have been from a scoring defense. We went through the stats yesterday. This defense, guys, and again, it sounds like I'm poo-pooing on the turnovers or the sacks. I'm not. I think you needed it. You needed it against the Cowboys. The forced fumbles, the interceptions, the sacks. You needed it. So I don't want to take any credit away, but there's always the buts are always tough, okay? Because then I have to proceed to crap all over them. When you look at some of the statistics on the year, it's concerning. They're giving up 30 points a game their last 3 games. I believe, I'll double check just so I can get this 1,000% correct. So I'm not just spewing stats out of my ass. But I think, let me see. Let me just make sure I get this correct here. Okay, so let me see. All right, I got it right here. Make sure I get this correct. So they are 18th in opponent points per game. Points allowed, go with. 18th, 23.4. They're not even middle of the pack. They're back. We'll call it back half. How about that? So that's what 18th in opponent points per game. They give up 23, almost 23 and a half. They're 15th in opponent yards per game. They're giving up over 300 yards. They are 15th in opponent points per play. Opponent yards per play, they're 13th, 5.2. They're 12th in opponent third down conversion rate, almost 40%. They're 12th. Opponent fourth down conversion rate, they are 20th at 60%. They are 23rd in opponent red zone conversion rate. So teams, when they get into that red zone, they are converting at a 60% rate. Almost 61. Call it 61%. It's just like, let's just be real, man. Like, let's be very honest. Let's just be very honest. You're not going to hold this Rams team under 30. You're not. You didn't technically with all the, as well as you played in the first half. Think about this. As well as you played in the first half defensively against the Cowboys, you didn't allow a touchdown. They only allowed 9 points in the first half against the Cowboys. They still got to 30. Do you think you will allow a touchdown in the first half against the Rams? The answer is yes. So to beat this team, 2 things have to go your way. You have to score a crap ton of points, over 30, and you have to create more turnovers. You just do. As much as I want to have belief that DJ Reed and Amik Robertson will have a performance like they had, against Philly and just shut down these receivers, it is very unlikely. It's very unlikely. We got to just be real with ourselves. You're going to have to score over 30. That's how you're going to have to beat this team. They're a high-scoring offense. Let's read some of these Rams stats. You want to hear stats offensively just to give you an idea? I just went through the Lions defensive stats. You allowed about 23 points per game. The Rams are scoring almost 30 a game. They're 4th. The Lions are 1st in points per game. The Rams are 4th. They're 4th in yards per game. They're 4th in points per play. They're 3rd in yards per play at 6. They're middle of the pack on third down. But they're getting some chunk plays too. 3rd in yards of play. They're not always in third down. They're 6th in fourth down conversion rate. If they want to go for it, they get there. Here's the scary part of it. This is the stat. These are the 2 stats that I look at. All right. Or at least the stat. I'll just go with a stat that I look at. The stat that I look at that is concerning on both sides of the ball for the Rams. Stay with me. Red zone conversion rate for the Rams. They are 3rd. When they get in the red zone, guys, they score. Now, look at them defensively. Defensively, the Rams, when teams get in the red zone on the Rams, they have a hard time scoring, 42.5%, which ranks second in the NFL. You know what I'm saying here? That's where it gets tricky. Red zone defense is going to be very important. Red zone offense. It's who can score touchdowns. It's going to be one of those games. And if I'm being real with you guys, there's times we can all look at Dan in certain situations and say, you know what, man? Fourth down in this position or in this situation wasn't smart. It didn't look. That wasn't smart. There's definitely times where you say, fans say that. You're watching the game, you're like, what are we doing? This is contingent on how the defense plays. Okay, I need to see how this defense comes out. If this defense comes out and they're playing some really good football and you're moving the ball on offense, I know this is in an ideal world, then maybe you don't have to be this aggressive. But I'm telling you right now, man, if you start the game, Rams get the ball, they go down, punch it in. You go down, punch it in, 7-7. They go down, punch it in, 14-7. And you go down the field, and it's 4th and 4. Let's say on like the 50-yard line, go for it. If it's one of those games, it's going to be one of those games. It's just what it is, man. You're going to have to be like, we got it. This is it. I don't want to say they have nothing to lose, but it would be one of those situations where like this Rams team is going to score. We need to score touchdowns. Like there's some games where you can say, well, punt the ball, be smart, play field position. But in this game, it feels like one of those ones, man, where you're just going to you got to try and score points. Now, if the defense is playing well and they're in a kind of a battle, I like the field position route because then you're like, all right, it's one of those lower scoring games already. I'm not saying it's going to be like that for the whole game, but let's try and pin them back. They're struggling today. Let's pin them back. But if they're just moving up the field on you, it's like, all right, at some point you just got to let's just go for this on 4th down. Let's just go. I mean, especially if the defense is playing how they've been playing, which is not very good. Here we go. I see people arguing in the chat here. What's going on? Joseph says, I believe the Rams just lost to the Panthers. Yes, a juggernaut. Yeah, but you guys there's context and everything. And I don't want this to be the Rams show. I'm really not trying to do this. I'm just trying to give you guys everything, all the information you need. That's all. And I would add to that Panthers loss, and I'll start by saying this. The Rams aren't unbeatable. They aren't. To me, they're the best team in the NFL. Spoiler. When we do our top 10 teams, they're number 1. They are, to me, the Super Bowl favorite. So when you're facing a team like that, I'm not saying that they are unbeatable, but what I am saying is you have to hope they beat themselves, A, or B, you force them to beat themselves. You force turnovers. That's how you beat these type of teams, man. Like, I wouldn't go into this game going, well, maybe they just shit the bed today. That's probably not the right approach. Let's just, because again, they did that against the Panthers, and the Panthers, they scored 2 touchdowns on 4th down. They had a pick 6 on Matthew Stafford, and they had another pick, and then they forced a fumble to seal the game. They stole that game, man. They stole it, and the Rams, fumbled the ball. If you force turnovers, that's how you can beat this team. I don't want to, again, this is a different Rams team from when you last played them. We have to keep that in mind. Guys, think about it. Because it's not the first time people have brought this up. I've had people, someone else has mentioned this to me. It's like, well, Jeff, we already beat the Rams before. Guys, 2 things. 1, that was a different Rams team. And 2, that was a different Lions team. That was with Frank Ragnow. That was with Ben Johnson. That was with Aaron Glenn. It was a whole different coaching staff, a whole different offensive line. Like that, no, we can't use prior example. We just can't. We can't. It was they're both different teams. I ain't saying that. I think it's nobody, actually. I'm trying to remember usernames with profile pictures. This YouTube thing's throwing me off. Appreciate it, my man. Member for 11 months. That's big time. He says, no Boone tonight. Yeah, no, Boone will be joining in a couple minutes. Also, I thought it was are you talking about John Johnson? Jack Johnson? No, it was John Johnson, the third, I think it is. John Johnson. Appreciate it, though, bro. Mike Reed. Jeff, where will you... Thanks for the 5. Where will you guys be for the watch party on Sunday? Well, I will say this. First time ever, we will be in Oak Park at Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Shout out to our friend Kyle. He's hooking the boys up, giving us a place to do the show. It'll be so much fun. That place it's electric, man. They have, number one, great beer, great customer service. I mean, for any beer connoisseurs, you go to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. I mean, they're great. They're amazing. They're in Oak Park. It's like a mom and pop shop. It's great. I mean, Kyle's always around there. You know the owner personally, dude. Not a lot of places have that, by the way, where the owner's just hanging out, talking to people. So go out to Dog and Pony Show Brewing on Sunday. I will be there in Oak Park. The boys will be there. It'll be a lot of fun. So that's where we'll be. So come hang out with us. Lions Forever 72 says Goff plays an elite level versus the Rams. He could. I mean, you're going to need him probably to step out. I know Dan mentioned they leaned on Jared Goff against the Cowboys, where you're going to probably have to lean on him again against this Rams team. I mean, that's just the reality. Let's bring on Booner. He's here. He survived the snowstorm. What are you doing?
Whoa. How are we?
I'm doing good. Talking Lions, Rams. I'm going off. I'm yelling about stats.
I heard all the stats that you brought up. Interesting. No snowstorm, by the way. You said no snowstorm today. There was no storm.
I know. I just added more. Like it was
more
interesting.
Yeah, the effects. Like, dude, that sounds good. There's a snowstorm tonight and tomorrow. Dude, I will say this: just like on my drive, this is gonna make me sound maybe a little stupid. Hypothetically, if I was speeding, trying to get to the show quicker, I was like, yeah, hypothetically, I was like, there's no snow on the ground. Like, this is unbelievable. It looked like there was like rain. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, it might be like warm enough for rain. So it looked like the roads were like water, like rain. And I was just flying, like going. And then I get here and I get out of my car and I take one step and it was just all ice. Like I was just driving on just straight ice. No clue. I need to be more aware. I need to be way more aware. I had zero, like that's just living in Michigan 101. I need to be better. It was like that was my first one all year. So I almost fell when I stepped out. I was like, whoa. And then in my back of my head, I go, thank God I didn't like drive off the road the way I was driving.
Yeah, no, it's ice. It's that time of the year. Black ice. Duncan just said, but Duncan Stewart, black ice, man.
It didn't cross my mind. I don't know. I should have. I was just so focused on getting to the show. Hand up on me. Won't happen again this year. You know?
Yep.
Won't happen again.
By the way, can we address this too?
Yeah,
I hate this. I'm sorry. I'm just going off tonight. And shout out, man. Like, I forgot y'all some Detroit Rams fans first.
Whoa, come on.
I'm not. Can I say
come on? What
anybody?
are we doing?
It's like this is what frustrates Lions fans. We lately, I've noticed as a fan base. All right, I've seen it more. We're going at the Lions, being like they're arrogant, they're cocky. I've been seeing more arrogance and cockiness with Lions fans, man. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's not all the organization. Maybe it's within the fan base. It's like just because you're looking at this Rams team, giving them respect, does not mean you are a Detroit Rams team or a Detroit Rams fan. The Rams are a great team, dude.
The best team in football right now. What?
Like, I don't understand why people can't say, like, this Rams team is really good. That's a reason why they're 5.5-point favorites. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can the Lions beat them? Yeah. And I'm not coming at that commenter. It's more about the general. I've seen it more often. It's like, oh, these people are scared of the Rams. It's like, dude, the Rams, like all the stuff I just brought up, does that mean the Lions will lose? No. But They're important things to mention for a team that is very good. All right. And I don't know, man. You can't be objective. It seems like you can't be objective sometimes anymore. I
think it's like the same. That's the same people. Like, and we have a lot. And shout out to everyone who watches us. But like, we do have a lot of people who watch us who, at the same time, it's like when you do criticize the Lions team, like one little iota, like one little bit, it's like you're the worst person on planet Earth, right? Like, you have one little criticism, and they're like, "Oh, you want to fire Brad Holmes? Oh, you want to fire Dan?" It's like, no, man. Like, listen, and it's like Lions fans for the longest, and shout out our guy Stick. Where his argument with Spenny a couple days ago that Spenny had sent us, where it was more so like Lions fans, you've lost for so long, you should just be happy you're where you are now. And it's like, no, why do you have to be? And it's like, now Lions fans, it feels like there's a side that is just a little bit arrogant with it, where it's just like the arrogance comes along with it. And it's like, all right, we are at the spot. You can be a little, negative. And at the same time, you can admit the Los Angeles Rams, it's not being a Detroit Rams fan. It's not. Like, I even think the year they won it, the Detroit Rams thing, like, dude, I don't think that was that big of a deal. Like, you weren't even in the playoffs. You were at home. Why couldn't Lions fans cheer for Matthew Stafford and be happy for a guy that gave you 12 years of his life and did a million things for the city?
Yeah. Oh, if you say that. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Though, it's just like there's a human aspect of it, in my opinion, and it's the same thing now. It's like, yeah, obviously we don't want the Rams to win. We're contending for a Super Bowl as well. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, I'll be the first to say it. If the Lions get bounced out of the playoffs, guess who I probably am going to be like, hey, quietly, wouldn't hate if Stafford won another one. Like, I'll just say it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and hate on the guy and be like, I hate him so much. Like, no, he's a great human, and he's one of the best to ever play that position, in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw like a shout out card. If it is Cardi, the usernames got me all messed up because I'm seeing different usernames. But I wasn't just one of the examples where the Rams aren't unbeatable. They lost to the Panthers. The Lions lost to the freaking Vikings, dude.
Yeah,
like. We act like this Lions team is dude. We can't even talk, bro. The Panthers are basically a playoff.
We're
team.
Underdogs, right? You're going on the road and you're underdogs just because, like, we're having the conversation. Like, they are a better football team. They are the best team in football right now. I don't care if they lost to the Panthers. They're the best team in football currently.
Dude,
they are.
We lost.
They're so good, dude. I was typing in the chat, and I know we're gonna have this conversation later after Kory hops on, but it's just like I'm just like thinking about the matchups for this Sunday. Like, when you're in you brought up the red zone stats. Who's going to guard Devontae Adams in the red zone? And then if you can't guard Devontae Adams, who's going to guard Puka Nacua in the red zone? Like,
yeah, it's good.
They just have, like, top to bottom. Dan said it. Sorry, Jeff, for cutting you off there. I apologize.
No, go on.
But Dan said it on 97.1 today. When I don't know if you played the clip of him talking about the Rams, but, like, he was just like, at every single position they have an elite player. Like, it's not like you're sitting here being like, Lions are just this much better. Like, Lions have a million injuries. They've been trying to figure out their offensive line. They can't figure it out. And they kind of are with rookies that haven't played all year. Defensively, they're down every single corner. They're out both of their safeties. I can almost guarantee you Kirby Joseph doesn't play by the sounds of it. I don't know if you heard Dan speak on Kirby today, but it sounds like Kirby's it sounds like Kirby's most likely going to be out. It's like, what are you talking about, Detroit Rams fans? Like, this is just like football 101. They have a better football team. Like, they're better. And, like, you're the underdogs on Sunday. And you have to go out there and you have to essentially be the Vikings to the Rams or the Panthers to the Rams. And you have to go upset them on the road. That's a fact. And if a Lions fan is going to tell you any different, you're wrong. Like, you're a slappy. You actually don't logically think with your brain. I think that's fair to say,
like,
right?
Lions fans had no problem doing that when the Lions team was stacked 2 years ago, a year ago, before the injuries. But yeah, we had no problem being like, yeah, this team has to really step up and beat the Lions team. This Lions team is stacked at every position. Like, now it's like the Lions team's hurting. They're not as their strengths aren't as strong as they used to be. And now we're just like in denial a little bit. It's like, no, man, like, they have an uphill battle. Can they win? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They can win this football game. No one's saying they don't have a chance. But
it's just a tough game. And by the way, too, they asked Dan today, like, is this the hardest game of the season? He was like, it's up there. And I would have to say this is the toughest game of your season by far. Like, you played some teams that were supposed to be good who ended up having injuries, maybe weren't as good. But like, you could say like the Eagles, where now we see how good they really are. The Chiefs, you see how good they really are. This Rams team has all the hype. Like, they are the best team of football. This is the hardest game on your schedule. And it's still winnable. Like, it is still very, very winnable. You're only a 5.5 point dog on the road. And what do we say, Jeff, all the time? Vegas gives the home team 3.5 or around 3 points. So it's essentially like neutral site. You're sitting there at a 2-point underdog. That's a winnable football game, man. Like, you're right there. You have the right game plan. You have the right pieces. You put yourself in a position at the end of the game to go out there and take the lead and win that thing.
Well, let's bring on our good friend here, covers the Detroit Lions for MLive.com. So he can give his insight to this game. It's a massive game on Sunday. So let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kory Woods. Kory, how we doing, my friend?
Hey, what's going on? It's my day off, and y'all got me.
Oh man,
this is why Kory's good. This is why he's my guy. You know,
best in the business.
Every time I hit up Kory, no problem. I'll be there. Kory, I want to ask you. This game this weekend obviously is important. We'll ask different storylines surrounding the Lions because there's a couple different things going on with this team. Dan Campbell spoke with 97.1, but I'll just start. I'll start with the game itself. What are kind of your early thoughts on this Rams matchup? We checked the odds. We were talking about them. They're 5.5 point underdogs. You know, Dan spoke about the team and the Rams team, and he's got a lot of respect for him, obviously. Matthew's the MVP right now in the NFL. What are just some early thoughts from you? Just kind of thinking about this matchup, where your concerns are, where you're confident in. What are your thoughts on this game this weekend?
Well, first off, I would say offensively, I'm confident in the Lions to be able to get it done. I believe ever since Dan Campbell took over the play calling duties from John Morton, we slowly but surely saw the offense started to click. And I think that's a good thing for them because there were some questions about it. It was looking a little bit shaky, but at least for the rest of the season, I think that they'll be able to ride this out. My concerns are, of course, about the defense. I mean, you're talking about a defense that's given up close to 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns over the past couple of games. And that is very concerning. And now you are down your starting safeties with Brian Branch, who's probably might as well just say he's gone next year too, because that's an Achilles injury. So you might as well just say next season is a wash. And then you have to factor in Kirby Joseph. We don't know what's going on with his knee injury. I was on the kind of the mindset that he might try to go ahead and make his return against the Rams just because he knows how pivotal that game is. And let's just be clear, it's no secret. He does not like Matthew Stafford. So I thought that might be a game where he would try to make his comeback. Who knows? It still might be possible. We'll see. But that's what concerns me the most. What is this secondary going to look like?
Yeah, Kory, can I ask you too? I just want to ask the Miles Frazier question because I know today Dan went on 97.1. They asked about Miles Frazier, and he said he's still going to get some run. What were your thoughts on that kind of last week's game, them working Miles in? Did you think he had a good game, and do you see him kind of being the future? I mean, and also I do want to ask you, like, Christian Mahogany potential comes back in the next few weeks. How do you see them even navigating getting Mahogany and adding Miles Frazier in this line?
Well, I think Miles Frazier did a solid job. You obviously did not like the 2 penalties that he picked up, but you have to think about this. That was his first NFL action. He didn't have preseason. He didn't have training camp. That was his first time on the NFL field. So you got to go ahead and say that in that context, he did a solid job. At least he did enough to warrant him being worked into the rotation moving forward. But, with Christian Mahogany, I think with the way he's playing right now, you don't necessarily – you know what? I don't want to be blasphemous. Let's see how he has another game this week. Let's see how he does this week. If he has back-to-back solid outings, then you may not have to rush Christian Mahogany back so quickly. You might be able to get him back for maybe that last pivotal game if he's ready to go. I know Dan said that they're not going to try to put too much on these guys' plates right now, but I think that he did a solid job, all things considered. I mean, when he was out there, when they were rotating him and Tristan Colon, I mean, Frazier provided some quality snaps, and we talked to him after the game. He was really critical of himself without even looking at the tape. He just said that there was a couple of things that he did out there that he did not like, and we'll see what that is like when we talk to him tomorrow if we get the chance to, just to see what did he see on tape that he didn't care for and how he plans to address that.
Kory, what about the other, well, I guess the same side of the offensive line? Taylor Decker, he spoke to Dave Burkett, kind of mentioned retirement, at least his thoughts on it, and he's ultimately not going to decide on anything right now, obviously. But what's the feeling from you? You're in the locker room, just for a guy like Taylor Decker. Me and Booner spoke about this yesterday. He's a guy that Frank Ragnow, everyone's focused on. Obviously, he's dealt with a ton of injuries. Taylor Decker's dealt with his lion's share of injuries. No pun intended. He's dealt with a ton of injuries, and he's older than Frank Ragnow. So I think what me and Booner came to, the conclusion we came to, and I guess our thoughts on it is, if Frank Ragnow comes back next year, I can see Taylor obviously playing another year. But there's just part of me that thinks, man, if they get bounced this year in the playoffs, and you're Taylor Decker, and he's mentioned before, I want to be able to hold my daughter, not be in pain. Do you think do you get a feeling there is a chance that you see Taylor Decker hanging it up? And if so, is this something that Brad's got to prioritize to get a left tackle if that's the case? Because I don't know if Giovanni Manu's, he ain't the answer. He might be the problem, and he ain't the answer. I'll tell you that. But what do you think, Kory?
Regardless of if Taylor Decker comes back or not, the Lions need to invest in that offensive line for the future, because they were not really prepared for Frank to retire the way that he did. So you could possibly run into that same scenario with Taylor Decker. So regardless of whether Decker is coming back or not, you got to draft his future replacement. Not necessarily saying if he comes back, you're pushing the guy out the door, but you have to think long term. The defensive line for this team this year has really been their Achilles heel. I mean, if you just really look at all the hits that Jared Goff took this year, his pocket time, it went up a little bit in the past couple of weeks, but about 2 weeks ago, he had a below average pocket time. It was like 2 seconds or less. And if that offensive line, if you had the depth to put in there, we might be talking about a different record for this team. So they definitely have to go invest in that offensive line in the draft. I would say really within the first 2 rounds. Maybe you could go ahead and go get an edge somewhere early, but I think you need to go invest in the trenches in this draft moving forward, regardless of whether Decker comes back or not, or whether Frank comes back or not.
I'm right there with you, actually, Kory. I agree spot on with that. Can I ask you your confidence level these next 4 games? And can I actually ask, I don't know if you've done it already or have had this conversation with anyone, like your record prediction through these next 4 games. It's kind of that, it's no pun intended, crunch time here for the Lions to make a playoff run. And every single game, including this Sunday, matters. We put a tweet out today for fans to put out their record prediction. I saw a lot of people kind of just going with the feels like the 3-1. Do you think they could get put off 4 games here straight, Kory?
If they are able to beat the Rams on Sunday, I think they're gonna run the table. I think they're gonna go 12-5. If they do not beat the Rams, then I think they're gonna go 3-1. I think that they can go ahead and take down Pittsburgh. They have some issues there. I so believe they're going to want to go get their get back on the Vikings. And then that pivotal game at the end against the Bears, I just think that they're going to have Ben Johnson's number once again. But if they are able to go ahead and pull off this Rams win, I would say this game is possible, not probable. But if they're able to go ahead and pull that Rams game off, they're going 12-5.
And Kory, you talked about the defense earlier. I did want to ask you, Dan talked about the defensive line. They had a bunch of sacks against the Cowboys. And they have these games where they have a bunch of sacks, and AQM looks like Lawrence Taylor. I don't know. It's like it just one day he just decides to play like Lawrence Taylor. He had 3 sacks against the Cowboys. What's kind of your feeling now with this D-line and just AQM? Because I don't know if I'm crazy, Kory, and I feel like I'm crazy for even saying it, given that Aiden and AQM, based on the stats, are – were they top 12 in sacks, whatever the number is, they're having a good year collectively. Is it fair to still look at that other side of Hutch and just be like, hey, long-term, they still got to find an answer? It feels like AQM is kind of in that James Houston role, where even if James Houston was here and being productive, we'd probably still say, hey, they got to go get a guy who's an answer. Maybe AQM's just like a rotational piece. I know he'll probably get paid this offseason, but like an every down guy. But what's kind of your confidence level in that D-line for the rest of the year? Because they have these performances, Kory, and then other times they don't show up. So what's your kind of confidence level that they'll have more of those type of performances down the stretch?
Well, the problem that I have with when James Houston was here and with AQM even at some points in the season is that they're trying to make these guys something that they're not. James Houston is a pass rusher. Stop trying to make this guy drop back and do things that he doesn't do well. Let him rush the passer aside opposite Aiden. Same thing with AQM, trying to move him inside. I mean, it's cool, it works, but leave him outside opposite Aiden, maybe, or switch him to the other sides every now and then. We see what happens when Hutch is able to draw that attention. AQ is able to get home. So I just think I don't want to say whether they need to go and get another guy. I think they need to go get edge rusher depth, in general. But when I hear people say go get some help, I always hear the names, like the hot names, and it's like, right. How many teams have two dominant pass rushers? I mean, some of them there's a couple teams that got some good ones, like they got a great one and then a good one opposite him, but they're talking about getting two dominant ones. I don't know how many teams have two dominant ones. I don't know how many dominant ones are going to be available in free agency, but I mean, just to answer your question, I think they definitely need to go get some more edge rusher depth because, look, Josh Pascal hasn't worked out. Much respect to him, hasn't worked out. Marcus Davenport, he just hasn't been available. And, the best ability is availability. Al-Quadin, like you said, he's going to get paid this offseason. I think the Lions should try to bring him back, but even if they bring him back, they still need to go get more depth. So, I mean, yeah, that's something that they should definitely be investing in through the draft and through free agency. And yes, I know they have, Ahmed Hassanin, but I mean, he is raw. We don't know what he's going to look like yet. And also, too, he was a late pick, so he's not somebody that you have to rush out immediately. Let him get seasoned, let him get trained, and roll him out when it's necessary. But, yeah, they have to, investing in the trenches. That's the whole draft. Everything else, to me, if you want to go get another corner, I'll say that, too. I would probably go get another corner because who knows how this Enos Rickshaw thing is going to continue to work out. You also, too, you might lose a Meek Robertson this offseason as well. So, investing in the trenches and investing in the secondary, that's it. Everything else, I think, is taken care of.
Kory, this might be a question you haven't had yet, but I want to get your just initial thoughts on it because Jeff and I spoke about it yesterday with this Brian Branch injury. What are your thoughts on the future? Brian Branch, obviously, the Achilles injury is going to hold him out at least until next year, potentially into next year. Major injury, and next year is the final year of his contract, his rookie deal. How do you think that's going to affect how they go about a Brian Branch contract? Because we know they've already paid one safety and Kirby Joseph a lot of money, and everyone's already had this conversation with all the money going around. Hey, is it going to be Brian Branch or Sam Laporta? Gibbs, like who's going to be the one left out? The reports come out that Gibbs, they're already wanting to extend Gibbs. So it kind of leaves Sam Laporta and Branch on those big deals. Do you think that this is going to affect that kind of Brian Branch long-term thing, and next year is going to be the final year we see Brian Branch in Detroit because, unfortunately, of this major injury?
Very possible. If it were an ACL injury, I would, have less reservations about it because we see with the technology right now and sport advances in sports medicine, we see guys come back from ACL injuries. Achilles, it's like a coin flip of whether guys really get back to what they used to be. That is like, I don't want to say it's a career ender, but it's career altering. It just seems like guys are never the same in any sport after that Achilles injury. So, Sam Laporta has some back issues, but I think that I still see him getting a deal. You obviously have to pay Gibbs. I think Brian Branch could be the lone man left out. I mean, who knows? They may franchise tag him. That's a possibility. But, I mean, Achilles injuries, man, that's just – I hate to say it. It's just one of those injuries where you got to kind of be practical about how effective this guy is going to be long-term. And, I mean, I don't know if too many stories of guys coming back from Achilles injuries and playing back to the same level they were. They may have some flashes of greatness, but that Achilles injury is something different.
Yeah, you ain't lying. We appreciate you, Kory. I mean, you guys can check out Kory, of course. Stay on top of all Lions news at Kory Woods. Joins the show, talking to the fellas. We appreciate you, Kory. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck this weekend, my friend.
All right, man. Have a good one.
There you
Appreciate
go.
it, Kory.
Kory Woods joining the show, talking to the fellas here. There's something I wanted to bring up. I did want to bring this up. But before I do that, got to hear about our friends over at Sleeper.
Great tease. A better tease? What is it? What is it about?
What?
That you bring it up. Tease it. Don't give it away, though.
Something Kory said about their record down the stretch. I got a bone to pick with that. All right, so we'll talk about that when we come back in a minute.
You think they go 0-4?
Yes. We'll see you guys in a minute. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper in the new promotion they have going on. A brand new promotion is now live on Sleeper that could be paired with the 100% deposit match promotion that's already been going on. It's a free $20, no deposit required, plus first-time users will also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Use the code CT Sports. You guys should already be using Sleeper. It's one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the entire world with millions and millions of active users. They are crushing it. And if your state allows it, you should be using Sleeper Picks. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You just choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends. Get rewarded together. Don't forget, code CT Sports. Get a $100 deposit up to $100, and you got your free $20 entry. Sleeper is taking care of their customers. Always remember, gamble responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. By the way, if you're watching right now, before I go into this take, you need to stop what you're doing and hit the freaking like button.
Bro.
All right. You need to hit that like button. Yes, we have, I don't know how, we have over 100 plus people in here. We should have over 100 freaking
Bro,
likes.
I'm so sorry. I've never, by the way, I had my screen up, a different thing. I was actually pulling the our YouTube up to go like the stream, and you just opened that up. I thought you were doing another ad. Your voice. By the way, if you haven't yet,
we should have an ad just to talk about the like button.
hit the like button right now. We should have over 100 likes, by the way, by the end. I mean, we got over 100 people in here. If you're watching this, take a second, sub, and like. Super simple. Pushes the boys out.
How many do we have right now? Let me see. Let's make a goal. How many do we have?
I think like 30, dude.
40, we have 42 likes now. By the end of the show, let's keep pushing. Let's try to get to 100 likes. All right.
If we get to 100, Jeff will do something for the people.
All right. Can I say this? Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
He'll eat a whole box of cookies next show.
All right. So here's it shouldn't even it might have been like a little bit of a, maybe I falsely led that. It's not that I have a bone to pick with specifically Kory, but I've seen this on Twitter lately and I want to get your thoughts on it. All right.
Yeah.
We're talking about the record down the stretch, right? We tweeted that out, which by the way, you should be following us on Twitter, official CT pod. Or X. Are we okay? This Rams game, everyone's marking as a loss, right? It's the Rams. They're underdogs. They're on the road. People are saying 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. Or if you're really confident, 4-0, whatever. I have a hard time. Now, I would lean 3-1. Let me make that very clear. I would go 3-1 with that Bears game being a little more, that's going to be a tough one in my opinion. It'll be a good one. It'll be a great game. Based on how the Lions have played the last month.
Yeah.
Do we think they rattle off, though, 4 straight? Are we confident in that? Not that they can't do it, but doesn't that seem a little like, oh, yeah, we're going to rattle off 4 games, maybe 3 games in a row after this? Like, even like the freaking Steelers, dude, or like the Vikings, I think they'll beat them. But Vikings beat them earlier this year. I know they beat themselves in that game, the Lions. I will say that. But still, you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, are we not a little skeptical? Like, man, like, I'm not going to lie to you, Boone. If they lose this week, are you going to be nervous going into that next week? And then I'm still going to be like, man, like, this team has not shown a lot of consistency. I'm a little worried. Or am I just being pessimistic and am I being a hater? Which one is it? What do you think?
No, I think I don't want to pile on. And I know a lot of people think right now, like,
I know it sounds bad,
but we're being negative. I know everything we've talked about the last week has probably felt negative. It's not. I mean, they've won. But I'm with you. It's just the confidence level. I said it going into the Cowboys game where it was like the confidence going to the Cowboys game. It was like, hey, you're expecting this team to go out there. They've lost, 2 of their last 4, whatever it was. Like, or no, not even that. It was like 4 of your last 7. Like, it was just like they
haven't had back-to-back wins in over a month, I think.
No, and Jim Costa asked Dan about that, and he was like, we just got to put this thing together, man. Like, we just keep having these ups, and we just can't, like, they essentially just feel like they just can't find a way to string these good performances together when you're talking about like all 3 levels of the game. And I think that's the hardest thing to do, man, especially if you're in the NFL, you're this deep in the season and you haven't found a way to do it yet. Like if you have a good team, I think there's a time where just out of nowhere, boom, that switch could flip anytime. I do think the Lions have a ball club that can do that with guys, you have vets on your team, right? You got Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Panay, JMO, Jahmyr Gibbs. On defense, obviously you're missing a couple, but you still have dudes that can flip that switch. So I think it can come at any time. I would say though, if you were like sitting here like confident, like there were a lot of people who were saying, yeah, I think they can go 4-0. Like majority Lions fans being like, yep, they're going to go 4-0 and finish this thing out. I think that's just like optimism. It's really just fans trying to be like, yep, no, we can do it just to feel better. But realistically, like deep down, I see this, and I actually thought about this, Jeff, earlier today when I posted that. I realistically, I was like, in my mind, they're going to lose to the Rams, and they're going to drop. Like, there's just the way it's been this year. They just always have that one game where they slip up, man, and every other week or every week or so. And It's like the final 3 games of the season versus the Steelers, Vikings, and Bears. In my head, when I posted that, I was like, they're going 2-2. Like they're going to drop one of those 3 games, and you're going to have 10 wins, and you're just going to have to hope that that loss maybe comes to. And I know people are going to hate to hear this. If you are to lose one of those final 3 games, you better hope it comes to that Vikings team, because if it comes to the Bears, you're out of the playoffs, and it comes to the Steelers, I think I saw a graphic today. A Lions account put it out like every scenario potentially. And it was essentially, if you lose that Bears game, you have like a 3%. If you lose Rams and Bears, you have like a 2% chance of making it. But if you lose one of those other games, it like goes up a little bit. It goes up, so you have a chance. So,
yeah, I think I'll ask this because it is in the prep too. I think it's a good question. If they beat the Rams, what happens then? If they beat the Rams, what I'm saying?
Super Bowl.
And this is for the chat. Like, what do you got? How would you guys feel? They beat the Rams this weekend. They're underdogs on the road. I'll say it. I'll stand down it even after it. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. You beat the best team in the NFL on the road. Where are you at? How do you feel?
Super Bowl, Jeff Iafrate. If they beat the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday night, they are all right back in that conversation to where this team can win a Super Bowl. If you beat the best team in football on the road, when they're playing their best football, you can win the Super Bowl. They're good enough. This is the best team of football you're going up against.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like, if you could beat the Rams, that means you could beat anyone in the NFL. And it's obviously you have to be able to put the games together and be more consistent in the playoffs. But guess what that means? Like, dude, how many times over the last month have we just had this conversation? Are the Detroit Lions Super Bowl contenders? We've had that conversation so many times. And what is the answer every single time? And I know this for a fact. Every single time, Jeff, you and I have said yes. And it's because of the talent. It's because of who they are and what they're about and like the vets that they have. And if they can go out there and prove with the injuries, and like I see people like streams only flip-flopper. It's not flip-flopping. It's essentially like the position they're in right now is you have a million injuries, you're losing pivotal players, and your offensive line is depleted, and you're starting literally a guy who just played in his first NFL game less than 7 days ago, and you're going, I need to see it. You have to show it. And if they go beat the Rams, guess what they just did? Back-to-back weeks versus the Cowboys and the Rams, they showed it. And you can be, okay, they can win. They can beat any team in the NFL.
Yeah, if you beat the Rams, it would be. I'm not going to take anything away from that. It would be very impressive. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, that coaching staff the Rams have, I mean, that's let alone is a win. You outcoach that coaching staff and you outplay those players. They got a ton of talented players. So I wouldn't take anything away. It would go back the question I've always had. It's not about But like you just mentioned, the talent, they have very talented players, although some of those talented players are lost due to injury, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. The thing I look at is Taron Arnold too, even though people don't think he's talented, but still, they've lost some solid players. My question has always been, can you rattle off 4 straight in the playoffs? Can you rattle off 4 straight against playoff teams in the playoffs? And I think if you beat the Rams, you obviously feel better about that. I think this team has shown over the last month, month and a half, whatever it is. I don't have a ton of confidence they can do that. That's where I get hesitant. But if you take down the Rams, which I, again, got to be consistent, they're the best team in the NFL, you'd be like, okay, we see them at their best, but the question is not what they are at their best. It's what are you from a game-to-game basis. It's like someone tweeted out offensive stats. I know we talked about it yesterday, so I forgot who put it out. Someone put out, it's a great way to break it down, but someone Lions account tweeted out, like, the Lions are first in points per game. And then someone commented and showed a bar graph from like week to week with the points. And it's a great example because it's like the bar graph it'll show the points, and it's like high points down here, high points. It's like their offensive, they've just been so inconsistent offensively. Now lately they've been more consistent, I will say that. But just as a team, they haven't strung together multiple consistent performances where they're playing complementary football. That's where I get concerned. Would I feel more confident? Yes. But I want to be like, all right, let's see what you can do. Can you take care of the teams you're supposed to take care of? I don't mean to keep moving the goalposts, but it is truly how I feel. Like, I just haven't seen enough of it this year to be like, I do. Can you string together multiple performances that are like, okay, they're clicking at the right time? They're clicking.
Agreed. I think this game maybe would be differently. Like, say you lost to the Cowboys and you're going into this game. If you win it, you could probably still question a little bit. Can they win the Super Bowl? I just think the fact that we finally versus the Dallas Cowboys, Jeff, I don't know if your thoughts on this, but it felt like they finally put together a complimentary football game. Like, defense played well in the first half. They looked good. Offense played well throughout the game. Special teams was really good. The returns were good. The coverage was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus Turpin as well. Like, they were covering him well in the special teams. Like, it felt like top to bottom, that was one of the first games in a little while that you saw all 3 phases of the game look good versus the Cowboys. And I think the fact that you're able now, you have an opportunity if you're the Lions to be like, okay, we have the best team in football on Sunday. We can actually put together a back-to-back game versus 2 good football teams of like full complementary football. Like, that's been their downfall this year. It's like when their offense is really good, their defense sucks and they lose the game because their defense gives up 40 points. And when their defense is really good, their offense sucks and the offense puts 9 points up and you lose a game. Right? Or like when both are good, your special team stinks and you give up a special teams touchdown or this or that and you lose a game because of it. And it's like, it's just been like that all year. And the Dallas Cowboys game, in my opinion, felt like that first, like, wait a second. They just put a full game together. A Dallas Cowboys team that, mind you, rattled off wins versus like 2 or 3, like the Bills, the Eagles, like 2 or 3 really good straight teams. And they were hot. Like, the Cowboys were hot and the Lions shut them down because they played complimentary football for the first time.
Well, they still had a bunch.
They did. But I'm saying, like, first half of you saw the defense in that game. Like, if the defense was bad the full game, you would lose. But the defense, all right, complimentary. Defense was playing really good in the first half. Lions offense wasn't going. Second half, defense was down. Offense got going. Like, they complemented each other so well last Thursday and found a way to win versus a good team that was hot. And it's like, okay, if they end up doing that this Sunday, they just put back-to-back weeks of that together. And like, now this Lions team does turn a little scary. And it makes you feel a little better that, like, wait a second, maybe they can do this. Maybe they can, like, you know what I mean? It only takes 4 games in a row to win a Super Bowl, right? And it's like, that's when you got to get your hottest. If you can just prove down the stretch that you can do it, I think there's something to it. But that I did not mean to rhyme there. I wasn't rapping.
No, it's great. I think we're going to find out more with a big-time player this week, Kerby Joseph, whether or not he plays. I have Dan Campbell speaking to 97.1. I have 2 clips, one of him speaking about Kerby, and then another one of him going into Miles Frazier, which you kind of talked about, which I'm excited for. So let's play the clip. This is Dan Campbell on Costa and Jansen previewing the Rams game, talking about Kerby Joseph. Let's take a listen.
Coach Dan Campbell, no Brian Branch. I think people would feel a lot better if they knew Kerby Joseph was coming back. What's the last box that he's got to check to get back out on the field?
Well, I think it's he's got to string a couple of practices together here to where, where he feels good, it looks good, he feels good, he comes in the next day and there's no residual effects from the practice. That's it. I mean, really, we won't know until late in the week. We won't know where this is at. And then we got to, get on the plane and fly West Coast. That's not going to, make things great. But yet that's part of it. You got to load up and hit a high altitude when you got some stuff going on. So, but we'll see. I mean, the good news is he's to a point to where we can get him out there and hopefully string some practices together.
I'll say this about the Kirby stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. I was just the words right.
What did I say the other day, man?
Does not sound promising.
No,
it does not sound promising. The way Dan kind of set that up, it sounds like it would be, I don't want to go as far to say a miracle, but it would be rather shocking if he were to play. I will say, and they haven't seen him out there in practice. He could prove everything wrong, but I didn't even take into consideration the high altitude with injuries, like with the knee injury.
That's something I've never in the NFL once crossed my mind. That was the first time I've ever. And that's probably why you see a lot of guys just not travel and when they're going through stuff.
Yes.
I said it a day ago. I don't think Kirby plays. I don't. He had that practice last week, Jeff, and then the next day he just wasn't there. And it was like
he has been out like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
7, 8 weeks, dude. Almost
it makes you think at this point, and I'm just saying what it is. I know he wants to get back, and you still have an opportunity to make the playoffs and go on a run, and he wants to be a part of that. But like, if it's this bad, I don't know why they haven't just said like, dude, let's get the surgery and get you back quicker for next year.
He might need it. I don't know exactly what the injury
sound
is.
like that he does. I feel like they've said he does.
Now, Michael says, what if it's strategy? Again, I'm not going to discount maybe a little bit of that. I think there's some of that where it's a little bit of strategy where you're kind of like, yeah, we don't know if it's like the Amon-Ra thing. We don't know if he's going to play. What did Amon-Ra say? He knew he was going to play Wednesday. He's like, I'm playing. But they still kind of were like, we don't know. This feels a little more genuine. I don't know. But I guess it could be a little strategy, but it's been a lingering knee issue. Like I don't know. He's just, if you sit out too much, like this is a much more serious knee injury clearly than we all anticipated. It's much worse than we thought, obviously. Yeah. Like at first you're like, oh, knee injury, tweaked his knee. I remember I think he played again and then he hurt it and we're like, that sucks, but he's moved. I remember you saw the videos, he's moving around on the sideline. Maybe it'll be about a week or two. Dude, it's been like 7 weeks. I don't know the exact number, but it's been almost 2 months, I believe. I mean, it clearly is a bad knee injury. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, you want him back, obviously, without Brian Branch here. But if there is a game to bring him back, you'd think it would be this Rams game.
This would be a perfect game to come back. It's such a big game.
Yeah, if you beat the Rams team, and I talked about it at the beginning of the show, you want turnovers against this team. You want the guy that is your best chance at converting turnovers. It's Kory Joseph. He's your guy. If you need turnovers, that's what he's for. And he just
I don't know how I feel about the secondary anymore, man. I really don't. My confidence level is dropped a little bit, being honest. Like Brian Branch was kind of that last, and then DJ Reed coming back, you have a little confidence, but like he hasn't been his best, and he's still trying to get back from his injury and like full go. Meek's been pretty. I love Meek, man, but he hasn't been playing at his best. Yeah, and we love Meek on this show. He just hasn't played at his best. Terrion's out for the year. So it's like there's really nothing in the secondary for you to sit back and be like, hang your hat on. And like, yeah, man, I'm so confident that they can stop Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. It's hard, dude. Like, you're out. No Brian Branch, potentially no Kirby, no Terrion.
I think it's unfair to expect they slow down those guys. I think it's unfair to expect they just slow down.
Those guys. I mean, Puka might have 100 plus. Devontae's gonna have 3 touchdowns. I hate to say it. Lions offense has to score 48 to win.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put up.
I'm sorry to be negative. I'm realistic.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put up points and create turnovers. There's no doubt about it. That's why Cartier is right. I mean, you're gonna need the pass rush
for sure.
Pass rush.
Hey, the Legion of whom? Legion of whom?
Yeah, they did well against
The Bucks.
And who was the other one? Cam Johnson. Tez Johnson. But the Legion.
We haven't seen him since. I haven't seen the Legion of Whom since that game. That was a good one week. Like, woohoo! People loved that. That's gone away quick.
The Legion of Whom, they might be doomed, man. Not the
Legion of Doom. Oh no.
It's the Legion of Doom, duh. That's what they are, man. I think they're the Legion of Doomed. I think that's what's going to be like on Sunday. Legion of Boone.
The Legion of Boone. I love that. Shout out Michael Daly, man.
Legion of Boone.
NH's burning through it in there too. Oh, these guys are thinking of good.
Legion of Boone. He also talked about Miles Frazier. They're looking to get him more reps. I did say it. We posted a video today, and it was me kind of talking about Miles Frazier and how I don't think Christian Mahogany's spot should be safe. I think if he keeps playing well, you got to have a real conversation. Here's what Dan said about Miles Frazier potentially playing more specifically in this game. Let's take a listen.
Practices together.
Kiera Awosika was a late scratch last week, and then we saw the combination of Tristan Colon and Miles Frazier. Miles Frazier, his first opportunity to get some NFL experience. What's the plan at left guard this weekend, and just your assessment of what you saw from Miles Frazier?
Well, I think the plan is I'd like to play Frazier a little bit again, but I like Colon, there's things that can be cleaned up, but Colon did some good things too. So Frazier, look, that's good. That was his first start. Not start. That was his first significant reps against any NFL player. I mean, he didn't play any preseason, no training camp. He's gotten about call it 6 practices against Aleem McNeil and Reeder and those guys, and that helps. But that's not NFL Sunday football, snap the whistle. It's not the same thing, going to the ground, finishing plays, that whole thing. So, and he went against some really good players, Kenny Clark and Williams over there for Dallas. So those reps will be invaluable for him, and he's going to have to learn from them. And we believe he will. We believe he'll memory bank those and get a little bit better. So I would like to get him in this game, get him a couple more reps, let him grow. But I see us using Colon too.
Should we read into that Yode's not going to play this week then?
Well, I don't know. We'll see where he's at. I mean, he's going to try to go out and practice here a little bit, but, until I see him out on the grass, I don't know what that's going to be. That's all.
Dan, we get called.
I'll say it. We've been saying it. It's guard by committee. It's just how it is right now.
I love that saying, guard by committee. It's incredible.
It's literally guard by committee, man. And
how many NFL teams right now are guard by committee? The Lions.
Yeah, there's not another team that's guard.
Try and game plan against that. Huh?
Yeah, there's no NFL team that's guard by committee but the Lions. But to be fair,
it's unbelievable.
I got Tristan Colon. They're kind of. It's kind of like, hey, this is the old Cade McNamara, JJ McCarthy, Michigan right here. This is like competing live in a game. It's like a little bit of here, a little bit of here. It's like Miles Frazier in, Tristan Colon in. It's like you can't.
How do you feel about that though? Like, how do you feel about him being like in one of the biggest games of the year versus the Cowboys? Him just being like, we just want to get him some valuable reps, man. Just get him his.
I think you should. Dan has probably seen it. I mean, I trust his talent evaluation to look at Miles Frazier in practice, look at Tristan Colon in practice, and make his best guess. Like, is Miles Frazier already the same, if not better than Colon? Like, he should have that good feel of like, this guy's a good player. We got to get him out there. Or is he not ready? Like, I don't think you need to try them out. Maybe I get it. You've already kind of did it against the Cowboys. I don't think you need to keep trying them out in live action. I trust Dan. Can you tell? Can the guy play?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Like, Mahogany didn't get reps with Yodi last year. I don't know if Yodi was hurt, but remember the Bears game? He just started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just start Frazier and trust that. Stand on that. I don't like it either, to be honest. I don't really like it either. I would rather just have Miles Frazier out there. Maybe I'm just like overreacting.
Maybe there's, maybe there's just certain sets or certain, certain plays and packages that they feel like that Miles Frazier isn't ready for. And maybe that's real. Like Miles did just get healthy a couple weeks ago, and he wasn't at training camp, or he might have been there, but he wasn't practicing. So maybe there are just specific packages where Miles hasn't been caught up on, and he's not fully there yet when it comes to the playbook and when it comes to certain, blocking schemes, and Tristan Colon is. So they're like, all right, in those schemes and packages on this drive, we're going Tristan Colon because he's kind of the vet and has everything down. So Miles Frazier, hey, this drive's going to be pretty simple. Let's just get him some run. Let's let him roll. Maybe that's it.
I'd rather just roll with Colon.
Yeah, but again, like you look at like Miles Frazier on the first drive he was in, they went right behind him on the touchdown, and boom.
I know.
Like it's just he's good, and it's like, all right, if you can throw him in, and it probably does throw the defense off a little bit. Like, and as an edge rusher, you go all game trying to like get a feel for a specific offensive tackle, right? And like, hey, this is how he's going to play me. This is what it is. By the time the third, fourth quarter comes around, you kind of have a feel in the back of your head, like this is what the tackle's going to do, or I've been setting this up all game. Fourth quarter comes around, I'm going to hit him with this to counter what he's been doing to me all game. You got Tristan Colon and Miles Frazier out there. You're not setting anything up. You don't know. You can't figure out tendencies. You have no clue. No. So that's why. What do you think when like Christian Mahogany comes back? How do they even approach that?
I would say that this is my opinion. I think Christian Mahogany. How many games has Christian Mahogany started? So
I'll say it, you're a Christian Mahogany hater.
I'm not.
You're a hater.
I don't think he's earned it yet. I think that's where I'm coming. I don't think he's straight up earned. Like it's not like this is Taylor Decker or Penei Sewell or someone that's been here, or like someone that's been started. He started in 8 games this year, which is that's like half the season. So he started, but that's all you got at Christian Mahogany. Like
how do his numbers look compared to Tate?
I don't know off the top. I know Mahogany's he was a really good run blocker. I know pass blocking, he was a little shaky at times. I know he was a little more inconsistent. He's still learning again. He only started. I think this is technically like his rookie year. But I'm just saying, if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm looking at this like, hey, man, the best player is going to play. You're not a 5-year vet. You're not. It's like, and I know he made a joke about the guards earlier in the year. He's like, they're vets now. Like, we got to lock in.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do you think Mahogany has earned it yet? That's his spot on the left side. Do you think that that's his spot?
I think when he comes back, I'll say this. I think when he comes back, I think he gets that spot back. But if he struggles, I think it's a quicker way. We have guys waiting in the wings.
He had all training camp there. Like he probably got to play more reps there.
Like I just think when he does come back healthy, you do throw him back in there. If he struggles for a game or two and it's clear like, hey, man, he's not playing well, then I think maybe you make some sort of move. But I think it's Mahogany's spot when he does come back.
I would think too, like in all honesty, I think Dan ultimately will lean with a guy who has more experience. So they're going to go with someone like Mahogany who started. I personally think, man, over the next couple of weeks, maybe he comes back in a week or two, I would still be just kind of keeping an eye on that guard spot. It's like, how do we look? Let's just see.
Yeah, I think it's something the first couple of weeks when Mahogany gets back, just keep an eye. Something
see what happens there.
Let's monitor the situation. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's put a monitor on that situation. Put a pin in it.
Let's put a little monitor on that situation. Let's see how it goes.
We'll throw a little baby monitor over there. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's you'll take that. That's fine. We'll take that. We're gonna be joined by our friend here, Eric Vincent. We're gonna talk some Pistons. A lot of shit.
Come on now.
We gotta. I mean, I checked Twitter. I see Anthony Davis could be a Piston. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit I got to deal with. I open my phone up. I look at X.
I'm interested.
I see. Then I see people over here going at it, defending it, maybe liking it. I've seen others that did not like it. Then all of a sudden they do like it. I've seen. Lori Mark.
Who was that?
Is some people. I ain't gonna call names, but there's some people flip flopping over here in the Pistons
community. I've seen
Eric knows what I'm talking about. Let's bring him on.
I sent you a flip flopper today, Jeff.
We'll bring him. We'll bring him on. Eric Vincent covers the Detroit Pistons. Clutch Points, one of our good friends of the show. Eric, how we doing, my friend?
Good, man. Jeff over here dry snitching. Look at you, dog. He was about to start spraying some names. I'm like, uh-oh.
I don't get it, man. I do want to get your thoughts. We'll start with some more positive stuff. We'll get to the Anthony Davis stuff, trade deadline, and then JB's comments. He spoke about like the why did they make a big move. I want to pick your brain on that. But we'll start with just the Pistons in general, man. The last time we talked to you, they were playing well to start the year. and they haven't really dropped off. I mean, they're 19-5. They're playing some great football. They're playing some great basketball. One of the hottest teams. I mean, technically still one of the hotter teams right now in the NBA. What have you what's kind of been your takeaway watching them so far through 24 games? What's kind of your take, big picture with this team? You think as of right now, they've kind of earned the right to where you can look at this team as someone who could make a team that could make a playoff run, or you think there's still more work to do, still more things to see? Where are you at with this team? Because for where I'm coming from, Eric, the thing that does concern me is probably I'd point to 3-point shooting. I think that's something I look at with most contenders. You're like, hey, they got guys like Duncan that can get hot. They got, Tobias Harris has always been pretty solid. I know this year he's been a little down, but typically you're looking at teams that make these runs like Miami with Eric Spoelstra, with Duncan Rozier. It's like teams that can just get hot from three. They don't really seem like a team. They're not shooting a bunch of threes. They're dominating the paint. What do you think of this Pistons team, Eric? You think they're a legit threat or no? Not yet.
I think it's legit. I think the way they play is 100% compatible to postseason basketball. Like you just said, they don't play like everybody else, which is another reason I love this team so much. They're not spamming threes. They're not foul baiting. They're not, half-hearting on defense. They're going all out and taking really every single possession serious when they play these regular season games. And I love it. And again, kind of like similar to last season, they have new veterans that have come in, but the main focal point into why they're progressing and taking that step into the number one seed in the Eastern Conference right now by a decent margin is because of the growth from their young players. Again, right. I love what we've seen from the veterans. I think Duncan Robinson has been one of the biggest surprises of this team thus far. But again, the focal point right now to why they're playing so good is Cade playing like a top 5 player. People argue about him being top 10. To me, he's top 5. Jalen Duren taking that step offensively and defensively. Isaiah Stewart looking like an even better defender than he was last season. Asar Thompson taking some steps in growth in terms of his defense and his offense to some extent. Ron Holland playing well, having Jaden Ivey come back. You're seeing a lot of these young players take that step that was expected into this season. We just didn't know how far it was going to take them. So now knowing that they can play this way on top of JB Bickerstaff showing that even when things change with injuries, with new players being added in, coming off of injuries, if we got to remove players, like they've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup all season, and JB has had them still competing at a high-end level no matter who's on the floor. So again, seeing what this foundation stands for the Detroit Pistons is giving them great winning basketball. And again, I really do think this is something that can last all season.
Yeah, Eric, I do want to ask you something. I feel like in Detroit with the Pistons team that like the conversation's been a lot with this young core has been like, who's going to be the guy to run with Cade? Is it going to be Jaden Ivey? Is it going to be Asar? Is it going to be Jalen Duren? Like, who are they going to kind of roll with? It feels like that's turned into Jalen Duren, and he's the guy that you have to have here in the building with Cade. And he is due for an extension. Can you talk about what Jalen Duren's been this year? And then as well as, do you think that he's going to end up getting that massive extension here from the Pistons this offseason?
He's been unbelievable this year. I have seen him working pretty hard at a lot of the things that we're seeing in terms of like practice and Pistons shoot around before home games. We've seen the expansion of his jump shooting. We've seen his passing take a step forward. And now playing with Asar Thompson and Ron Holland more on the floor, and then even some lineups where Beef Stew is starting next to him. Those are the lineups, and I think those are some of the biggest impacts to why we've seen Jalen Duren play a lot better defensively this season. In terms of his contract, I think that's still a bit of a question mark. He went and bet on himself this offseason, which I totally understand, and I kind of understand the Pistons front office kind of taking their time as well. I can't confirm if like the numbers that have been reported are true or whatnot. I just haven't heard anything that would confirm that they're as high as people are saying. But it is something to think about because while I do think he's one of the most important players on this roster, I don't necessarily know if I would call him maybe the second. Maybe as of right now, as they stand, I would say he's their number 2 guy. But for me personally, if you're still looking into postseason basketball and if you want to get the most out of Cade Cunningham, I think it suits them a little bit better to have somebody on the perimeter that can help create for Duren instead of him creating for his own. Because while I do think he's taking a step forward in terms of his isolation and dribbling the ball and creating his own looks, I think he's better when he's closer to the rim and doesn't have to do as much as he's done thus far. I think he would benefit off of the Pistons having one more creator, and I still think they're a little short on who that could be right now. But I love what he's done. I love his connection with Cade Cunningham. It's showing to be valuable. They spend so much time off the floor with each other, developing a real friendship and brotherhood, and it's paying dividends to the winning basketball that we see right now on this team.
Yeah, Eric, I want to get your we've talked plenty with you about this whole the Jaden Ivey stuff. He came back this year. I think how they've been utilizing him was perfect. You don't want to mess up something that's winning. You're winning basketball games. Jaden Ivey is coming off a pretty bad injury. I mean, you had Dennis Jenkins. His story's incredible, by the way. He comes back. He's shooting the ball well. He's playing. He's giving a spark to this Pistons team. JB's running a deep rotation. They kind of have Ivy coming off the bench there as kind of they're kind of using him as another ball handler, but in kind of different situations, kind of off the bench. What have you kind of made of just Ivy, his return, his role? He's actually shooting the three ball. He's not shooting it too bad coming back. So you kind of get that again with him. But what do you make of Ivy and kind of this new role and just your feeling on still long-term with this Ivy stuff? Because it feels like, the big argument for a while was whether Cade and him can play together. Now he's kind of came back. He's coming off the bench. What has his stock risen, kind of taken on the role and excelling, or you think it's kind of like, I've seen a good thing. He's coming off the bench here.
I do think it's smart for him to be coming off the bench, and I like that JB is taking their time with him. Yeah. I'm definitely a supporter of Ivy. I do like, his story and the way he fits with this team, especially pre-injury. I think he was a player that, as we saw last season, he did a lot to kind of take a lot of pressure off of Cade Cunningham. He said it. The coaching staff has seen it. Trajan Langdon has seen it. It's just, Piston baller, 325 is the one doubting him and acting like he's a bum all of a sudden. And I don't really understand that at all, because I think Ivy still does have value for this team. It's just at the point where, again, the injury couldn't have come at a worse time, where the Pistons were, heading into their postseason stretch and the team started winning without him. So he's in a position now where, physically you see him on the court. The explosiveness isn't quite there yet, but the jump shot, I think, is still crisp. His form looks really good. The spacing is there. I think he's doing a good job of creating for others. I think he plays his best when he has another point guard on the floor with him, instead of making him be, the primary ball handler or the point guard for long stretches. Right. But unfortunately, kind of for him right now, he's in a position where, again, he's battling to kind of get his physical, prowess back. But mentally, I'm sure this is weighing on him too, because obviously, like Duren, he's in a contract situation. And of course, he knows and he's seen the team play better without him. And they know that they have to start making some tough decisions on what the next 5 years are going to look like with this young foundation. So he does have some pressure, mentally. I think going through a Monty Williams situation where he was in and out of the lineup, being a part of that 28-game losing streak, and having a lot to deal with as a young player, he's shown that he can, respond to adversity. It's just a little bit tougher when you have an injury to go on top of it. So I think he is capable of fitting with this team. It's smart to keep him on the bench, and keep him in moderation for now. But yeah, it's still a lot of questions to be, decided in terms of what his long-term fit is going to be with this team. And we're going to see that this season.
All right, Eric, the question I think people have been waiting for, Anthony Davis.
Oh, man.
The trade talks with Anthony Davis. Shams reported today that the Pistons are one of three teams that are in the conversation right now that are pushing for Anthony Davis.
Look, you got the Hawks and the Raptors, which, by the way, that checks out. All right, the Hawks would do shit like this. The Hawks would do
the Raptors are having a good season as well, so I can see why they're also wanting to do it. But it sounds like it's a package of a Tobias Harris and Jaden Ivey. Where are you at with this, Eric? Would you do this deal? And do you think, let's say, even if you wouldn't do the deal, would it be a deal that you think is a little enticing when it comes to building a championship roster and kind of going all in for this year to try and, win it all?
It's worth thinking about and talking about. It depends on the price, though. That's the big deciding factor to all of this. Anthony Davis is one of the 20, 25 maybe best players in basketball when he's on the court. I think he's a top 5 defender, an unbelievable offensive talent when he's on the floor, can create his own shot, creates gravity and opportunities for others. Again, it's just the problem is he's never on the court. And the Pistons are in a situation where I like Tobias Harris and I like Beef Stew as well, even starting next to Jalen Duren. I just think they would work a little bit better if they had a supreme or elite level, maybe not elite level, but just a really good creator offensively to kind of help out with other guys, especially Cade Cunningham, who's seeing double and triple teams on a nightly basis. I think it would help to have somebody like Anthony Davis, but I don't think Trajan is the kind of guy to, go Los Angeles Rams and F them picks and just cash in on everything right now. I think he sees that they may have a need right now, but I think the way the Pistons look at it is they want to remain patient. Like I think it was Trajan who talked about wanting the guys to, take another season where they've earned the ability to kind of play with each other a little bit longer and figure out where this thing can go, which I think is working, especially when you're number one in the East. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it is worth a conversation because if, whatever his market is, we don't know what Atlanta could be offering. We don't know what Toronto could be offering or any other team right now. But I feel like Anthony Davis isn't as expensive as some of the reports are making it out that he would be. I think people kind of get the skinny on him at this point. Like, he's a great talent, but you can't rely on him. And for teams in the NBA now where you don't see a whole lot of players or at least a whole lot of cash-ins like these paying off dividends. We just saw Paul George with OKC get, exchanged for, the kitchen sink for the Clippers, in which he's included of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander like a million picks, and now the Clippers are behind the 8 ball because of that move, and they're not looking good over the next 5 years. So teams are valuing being patient with their young foundation, especially when it's yielding winning. It's not like the Pistons are the Charlotte Hornets or
right.
a younger team like the Utah Jazz where they're just not really figuring it out. The Pistons have an identity, they have a coach, they have an all-star level player, and they have things that are moving in the winning direction for them. So they got to be careful with this decision. Again, I love what Trajan Langdon has done, but this next decision he makes is going to be the biggest one of his tenure for the Detroit Pistons. It's a little easier, to take a flyer on cheap deals for guys like Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, and Tim Hardaway Jr. This next move, though, if as big as it may be or whatever it is going to be the most important one he makes thus far.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, you see like rumors like Trey Murphy being floated around. He's hooping this year too. I'll ask because I think the thing me and Booner, we talked about this with our guy Caleb, the Tobias Harris thing. I think Tobias, dude, he's like the perfect fit just in what his skill set is. He can go get a bucket. He's a good rebounder. He's always been an efficient, even though he started the year a little slow from three, but he still is catching up. He's an efficient shooter. Right. He brings a little bit of that vet presence. He's on an expiring deal. So you have to at least consider that if you do make a move, his salary, the benefit of that is he can match trying to get another type of player. Me and Booner, though, are on the side of, we're very skeptical because we like his presence. I think that's a guy in the playoffs. You saw kind of last year, too. Like, you need a bucket. He can go get you a bucket. He's kind of just reliable. What's kind of your take on Tobias Harris's future? Is he someone you really believe will be legitimately shopped, or are you kind of more hesitant because you like the fit? What's the future of Tobias Harris look like?
Yeah, I love Tobias. I think he's a great, veteran presence for them, obviously. And as I say a lot on shows, I think the timing of Tobias's production is way more important than the volume of it. You don't need Tobias scoring 25 points.
Right.
But there have been stretches and points in games where the team is rallying and you need a quick bucket and Cade is getting blitzed. So a lot of times they throw to Tobias in the post. He gives him a quick jab and a fadeaway for a mid-range jumper, and that stops the bleeding. So he does a really good job of adding that dynamic. But I do think there is an ability to grow, considering what you just said. His expiring contract, he is getting older, and you're starting to see some of the age kind of creeping up a little bit. Like, he's been on fast breaks, and you know how the Pistons play. They're a fast team. They're mad athletic, really young, and there have been times where he's dribbling the ball, and he's either losing it, he's falling, he can't throw alley-oops, he really struggles with finishing, especially in traffic sometimes in transition. Like, there's some areas where it just kind of, like, you see like where his value is in terms of what he's good at in terms of like half court offense. But when they want to play to their identity, which is running in space, he's not really as valuable as you would want him to be. Again, I don't know what it would cost to get these guys, but if we were just spitballing ideas and players, the Trey Murphy idea to me, I think is just so perfect. I think he needs to get out of New Orleans immediately because I think he makes at least 15 teams right now serious business. And I think the Pistons could be one of them. I just think he fits exactly what they need. He may be expensive, but he will be 100% worth it because he has room to get better. I don't know how much better Anthony Davis can get at this point in his career at 33 years old. But Tobias and him are roughly the same age. So you're not looking to, you can get better, but you also want to get younger and try to plan for the future as well. Like, I don't think it's like people are arguing on social media that this is the Rasheed Wallace trade all over again. No, it's not, because the Pistons are at least playing with the long game as well. The 04 team wanted to win right away because they had a bunch of veterans and a couple of young guys. It's not the same thing at all, but they do have options, I think. I think they're going to be names, and I think Trajan understands that we're in the driver's seat right now. Like, I'll entertain some trades, but I don't need to be the one calling and figuring them out. You show me a deal that entertains me and intrigues me. Like, I think he understands that, being first in the East with great momentum, with his young guys doing well. They're all kind of recovering from big injuries right now. Sasser just came back. Ivy is playing. Like, they're in a good position right now to just build on what they have. So, we'll see if he wants to stay patient, but I think that's kind of the approach that they want to look at based on what's available at this current moment.
I love it. Good stuff, Eric, as always, man. We appreciate you joining. You guys can check out Eric, all the Piston stuff, man. He's crushing it. I am Eric Vincent on X. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Keep crushing.
Appreciate y'all. Take it easy, fellas.
Appreciate it, Eric.
Eric Vincent joining the boys, talking some ball there. By the way, Boone, Trey Murphy, I just was seeing too more, so he's available. That he is a
very good. Yeah, no, for sure.
And he's rotten in New Orleans. And by the way, Trajan Langdon has ties over there in New Orleans. For people that know.
Well, no, so the whole Detroit team does. Troy Weaver is over there. Joe Dumars is over there. How do you feel if you're a Troy Weaver? Is it Troy Weaver?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you're Troy Weaver? Just everywhere you go, you're like all-time worst team. Like they're like 3-20 right now. They're like 3-20, and he's like helping build that team. Like, there's people in Detroit for years that stuck up, including you. I'm not a shot, but there's just people who like stuck up for this guy Troy Weaver for years. He goes straight to New Orleans. Guess what he does? What did I tell you? Troy Weaver's addicted to, Jeff. He's addicted to rebuilding. All he wants to do is rebuild, dude. He loves drafting and rebuilding. That man Troy Weaver went straight to New Orleans, and you know what he did? He goes, "Let's tear it all apart. Let's tear it apart. We got some players. Let's burn it down. I love to rebuild."
He was with the Wizards.
What are they right now? 3 wins.
Yeah, they're
same thing.
Yeah.
He literally, dude, he was in Washington with Jordan Poole. They were terrible. He goes to New Orleans. He goes, the big move I'm going to make? Trade for Jordan Poole. Like, dude, you were in the Washington and you did that.
I know.
He might be the worst executive in the NBA.
He wasn't great at making trades, so maybe you can finagle Trey Murphy.
You can fleece him, maybe. Yeah.
Joe Dumars, shout out Joe, man. But I got a lot of Joe brought a chip. I got a lot of love for Joe. But
yeah,
still,
I love Joe.
Wasn't the greatest at trades either. Besides obviously the Rasheed Wallace trade, which was massive. But later on, and after that championship and all those runs, he made some deals that maybe you can finagle him a little bit. What do you think about the Anthony Davis stuff? Him potentially being a Piston. What do you think?
I like the idea. I'll say this. I think if the Pistons, like with an AD trade, one, I know I've told Caleb a million times, like I have trouble being like with Tobias being like the locker room guy he is, moving on. And I'm starting to understand a little bit more him on an expiring deal. If you don't plan to re-sign him, to add a piece, I could see like realistically, Jeff, like let's just be completely honest. Say there's no health issues with Anthony Davis, he stays healthy. If you make that trade, you're going to have you might be the second championship favorite behind OKC. Like it's you and OKC. Like think about the starting lineup right now. You essentially, like Jaden Ivey isn't really like he's giving you minutes, but like you are winning without him. So you essentially have the same team, and you're upgrading Tobias Harris with Anthony Davis, essentially a better player, right? Like it's an upgrade, right? And you're not really giving up anything that you would be losing out on. So I like the concept of it and the thought process of it. The only thing, and just like everyone I think is concerned, is he's only played 10 games this season. And last year he only played 40. And he's constantly been hurt. It feels like every time he touches the floor, he has some sort of issue. The trade that I would go all in on, do you want to know this? I thought about it today, and I would go all in on it. I would give up every first-round pick for the next million years because I think you would actually win an NBA championship this year. If you can give up $1 million first, Tobias and Jaden Ivey, for Giannis Antetokounmpo, you will win the NBA championship. I think that's a trade that they need to actually look at. Like, genuinely. If you pair Kate Cunningham and Giannis, and then you have Asar out there, you have Duncan Robinson, you have Jalen Duren. who's stopping? I mean, the Thunder is great, but like,
I'll tell you this:
people are gonna say no and be mad, and that's like,
if
Giannis would be underrated. Like that man is incredible.
If they're,
I mean, Cade.
I will say, I wonder. Giannis has the type of. I would assume he has the type of pull. He can dictate where he goes. I don't know. I know he said he wanted to go to New York, which, by the way, it's like
there was a clip that came out that like a day ago that he was like, I don't want to go to New York.
Okay, so if he does want to get out, and let's just say you're telling me there's a shot, you can have the entire roster, but Cade, you can have
Jalen Duren.
Even if they want, honestly, Giannis is that type of player. You can have everybody.
You have him from this year and next year. You are going to have an opportunity every year you're going to be in the NBA Finals back-to-back years.
You would figure it out. You can have everybody. You can have free Little Caesars for life.
I would decline that. I don't want that.
You can have everything if you want. You can have whatever you desire. If we get Giannis, obviously the only untouchable to me is Cade at that point, because Giannis is that type of player.
Agreed. I think people in their mind right away are just like, oh, Giannis is soft. No, I don't want you. No, like, actually be realistic. Take a step back and think about a team. If you give up Tobias, Jaden Ivey, maybe one more player and some first, and you have this year and next year with Giannis, and like the thought process, like I think that's Get a Boy Juan. Giannis needs 3-point shooters, and we only have one. Dude, if you have Cade Cunningham and Giannis on the team, buddy, who cares if you have 3-point? You're winning every game. Like, who are they going to guard? They have to guard someone. Like, there's a point with Giannis having to have 3-point shooters when he doesn't have playmakers around him, because everyone's going to key on him and he's going to dish it. Like, someone's going to be open and they have to make shots. When you have Giannis and Cade, they can't just key in on one guy. You have two playmakers now on the floor.
No, Booner, you could
constantly.
Go legitimately. You could legitimately do. Not even kidding. You trade the whole roster but Cade for Giannis. Let's say you got nobody.
5-on-2.
You go to. No, I'll go.
You're winning the championship.
I'll go one up to that. You go to LA Fitness, and you go into the LA Fitness gym. You pick out a couple dudes from LA Fitness. They fill out the rest of the starting.
I'll play. I can shoot. I shot 40% of my career. I can shoot that thing.
You can have Booner on the wing at that point. It's like guys that can. I'm cool with it.
Imagine me and Caleb on the wing.
Shout out Anthony. He says Milwaukee wants proven.
Shout out Anthony.
And trades a bunch of young players that hasn't done anything in the NBA.
I do agree with that. I'm with Anthony on that. I just think, like, my point with this is, if that is an opportunity and a possibility, I think that's, like, to me, that should be number one priority. Like, if that comes across Trajan's desk and we find out he denied it, if he declined that and he was like, no, I'm good, we're good. Do you really want to win a championship? Because you're the number one team in the East. The only other team that right now is better than you is the Thunder. If you add Giannis and you go Cade and Giannis versus the Thunder, and you have Jalen Duren, like, defensively, you're going to have an opportunity to lock them up, and offensively, like, good luck guarding them. All right, Giannis drives to the rim. Oh, wait a second. Are you going to guard Giannis and help? Oh, no, he's going to throw Jalen Duren a lob. Oh, you're going to step and get the lob? Oh, I'm going to bounce past Cade Cunningham. Bang on you. Like, you're not guarding it. How do you guard that?
No, it would be.
That's essentially Extreme Zoli said. That's going all in. That is literally, if you get Giannis that's going all in, you will win a championship. And I will guarantee it, if Giannis is a Piston, you will win a championship in the next 2 seasons.
Chet Holmgren would die trying to stop him.
I mean, he would be hurt game 1 of the finals.
It
would be a fake injury because he doesn't want to play defense.
By the way, I agree with Anthony. I think they have to monitor the Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy
used to be such a good one, dude.
Yeah, he's hooping this. He's been hooping. I mean, he's almost a damn near 40% 3-point shooter. He's a wing player. He is the perfect, like Anthony said, perfect Tobias Harris replacement. Yeah. He's 25 years old. That's like a guy you trade for, and he matches the timeline of everyone else. So I don't know.
I agree. It depends on who's available.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's going to be the big kind of question.
Honch, he's throwing the Laurie one out there again. We talked about that earlier this year.
Yeah, Laurie's he's a great player. I just get so scared. It's kind of the Anthony Davis thing. That's the reason it's intriguing because when healthy, he's so good. He's such a great player. The problem is he's not available. If you're not available,
Laurie's been healthy this year. 22 games played.
I like that.
He's averaging 28 a game, basically.
No, he's hooping. The thing with Anthony, his first 7 years in the NBA, I think it's about 7 years when he was in New Orleans. He played 60 or more games like every year but one. The last 7 years, I think he's played more than 60 or 50 games like once or twice. In one of those, I think they won the championship in LA with the bubble. He is just never healthy. Never freaking healthy. Never. What? Booner. I go to you for the question.
I just want to say, I think we can all agree as a Pistons fan base that we are finally at the year of 2025 to where the Pistons have to make a trade and go all in. Whether you think all in is Trey Murphy, Anthony Davis, Giannis, Laurie.
You gotta try and get better.
Yeah, like last year, I think there was the question where it was like, hey, Trajan, like all, we had all the people that we knew in the press conference asking them, hey, like, are you going to stay safe? What are you going to do? And he's like, hey, we're just going to roll with the young guys and we're going to let this thing play out how it does. You are now the best team in your conference. The Celtics, like, you're talking about teams like in the conference that could be good or whatever. Like the Celtics are still 15-9, but no Jason Tatum. You've shown you can beat the Knicks. You almost had that opportunity without Isaiah Stewart and not making a trade. The Magic are the Magic. Raptors are playing like. You are the team to beat in the East right now. It is no longer like, hey, long term, let's roll with the young guys. You have your core. You now know who you're rolling with. Now you add a major piece to it and you move. It's just like when the Bucks, when they won their championship and they went and got Drew Holiday. And then they, with Chris Middleton and him. Like, you need to get that third piece now. Like, you have Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham.
Celtics did stuff like that too with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They went out and got the pieces that helped them win a championship. So
yes, you need that third piece, right? And I've been consistent with this for a couple of years now, have I not, Jeff? Where I was like, hey, one of these, whether it's Jaden Ivey, Jalen, whoever it is going to be your number two. You need that third like big piece. And I think this is a year where it's like, I think as a fan base, we can all put our hands up and agree we're there. It's now time. Trajan, there's no like sit and wait anymore. I think fans would be disappointed if you had opportunities to make those moves and you didn't.
Yep.
You're going to win a championship this year. The Thunder, I don't know. The Thunder are really good, but like you can at least get to the finals.
You know what's messed up? The Thunder are so good and they have 1 million first-round picks.
Oh, it's insane. Dude, they may never lose. They might lose like 3 games this year.
I don't know, man. Sam Presti's just a different type.
So good, man. Dude, think about his career.
Yeah,
from the jump, drafting like KD, like the KD stuff, the Westbrook, James Harden.
For SGA is that is like that'll go down. I mean, the Clippers trading away SGA for Paul George.
Bro, I saw, dude, that's the worst trade. I just saw a tweet today. I want to try to go find it where someone was like, Steve Ballmer's just like he's like addicted, like someone's addicted to drugs. He's addicted to like James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Like he can't give them up.
No,
like they just suck, and they're like, you know what? It's Chris Paul's fault. Maybe, maybe it's like your star players.
Yeah, and I saw people in there talking about Danny Ainge. By the way, if you trade with Utah, you try to trade with Danny Ainge. I know Anthony said in there they wanted a SAR. Probably was. I would not be Danny Ainge. When you trade with Danny Ainge, you're getting into some tough waters. That guy's trying to bend you over in a trade. There's no way about it. You have to be very careful with that guy. All right, he's a con man in like the most respectful way I can say. That guy's going to screw you. He's gonna come at you like, give me a SAR. Give me frickin',
Do you remember what he did with the Nets?
Ivy, dude, yeah. He's
from the Celtics when the Celtics fleeced them. And hey, you could have Paul Pierce dead. We'll take 100 picks. And KG, we'll take 100 picks.
100 picks that end up getting them like franchise players. It's just how it is. It's ridiculous, man. We'll get to we got to get to our top 10 Tuesday. We have our top 10 NFL teams. Are the Detroit Lions a top 10 NFL
Forgot
team?
About that, man.
That's the question. Are they a top 10 NFL team? We'll get to it in a minute once we hear from our sponsor over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. We'll see you in a minute. I've interrupted the show to tell you about our friends over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. State-of-the-art vape vending machines that can boost sales to any venue. Business owners or anyone that has an establishment that customers are coming in and out of, Prestige Worldwide Vending can help not only attract new customers, but keep customers inside your establishment nicotine users that leave to go get nicotine, it'll be right in the place they're at. 32-inch touchscreen, customizable advertisement, which is sweet, by the way. Age verification software to scan IDs confirming age, pre-sale if required. You can pay cash, credit, debit, or mobile. Mobile payments are also accepted, and you get paid when they get paid. It's a win-win. You make your customers happy. You make money on the side. And of course, working with a company like Prestige Worldwide Vending, who is on the up and up, can only benefit your business. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to it. All right, let's get to it. Top 10 NFL Tuesday. We do it every single week. Boone, are the Lions a top 10 team? Question: are they a top 10 NFL team? We'll answer that question. I can go first. I can show off my top 10 list, and we can have this conversation. It's very different from a week-to-week basis. We kind of move up teams, move down teams based on how they perform, or they're performing as of late. Me and Boone have gotten to some arguments. We kind of have a little bit of different philosophies, but similar teams always. I mean, it's pretty much, I think, universal for the most part. But here's my top 10 NFL team. So here is what I have. The Lions, to me, are not a top 10 NFL team. They are just outside of that top 10.
No Lions?
Not just as in 11. They're outside of the top 10, yes.
You don't have the Lions?
I do not. I don't have the top Lions in here. I do have 10 teams that are playing better football.
You don't have the Detroit Lions.
Yes, hot take. I don't. I do have the 49ers in at 10.
That's embarrassing, man.
Who have been finding ways to win games. Now, I will say, the 49ers, here's where I find very interesting. They're 9-4, but their last couple games, they've kind of beaten up with some bad teams. They're going to face the Bears, I think, this week. I could be wrong. Is it this week they face the Bears? Or next week? One of the two. Whatever. They're going to have better competition, but lately they've just been finding ways to win games. So I give them credit for that. The 49ers make the list. 9, the Bears, they lose by a touchdown to the Packers. You know, Caleb misses Cole Kmet. It was a good game, but ultimately the better team won. I think the Packers are a better team. I still believe that. So they are still kind of at that 9 spot for me. They're in the top 10. I have them above the 49ers as of right now, but they could drop depending on what happens over the next couple of weeks. They could fall. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They play the 49ers, so that'll work itself out. The Jags are playing great football right now. They beat the Chargers. The Chargers are a really good team. They took care of them. I know Justin Herbert left the game early due to injury, but they've strung together wins, man. And Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game last week. I know he's been inconsistent. It's been my guy, but hey, he has not put together consistent games this year. He's been a little up and down, but he's playing better football. They're stringing together some good performances. So the Jags are on that top 10. They're 8 for me. 7, the Bills, coming off a electric game in the snow against the Bengals. They take care of it. Josh Allen, Superman. He's freaking playing well, and he's a special quarterback. We get reminded of that every time we watch them play.
Best in the league.
I have the Texans over them. And I'm not just going off the head-to-head. That's not the argument I'm going to make. It's actually it's more than that, in my opinion. I think this Texans team, and I know I've been glazing them lately, but watching them over the last couple of weeks, they've had some impressive wins. They haven't been dominant, 30 points. They're scoring 30 a game or anything like that, but they're winning. They're winning in the way in which they win games. They're winning the way in which they win games. It's basically just disgusting defensive football where they're keeping teams under 20 points and they're just beating them. And CJ Stroud has come back from a concussion and he's kind of getting into rhythm now. They got weapons. Their defense is so good. I think their defense alone puts them in like the top 7, 8. And then their offense with CJ Stroud, if he can get back to what he was last year, the year prior to that, I believe, then you feel a lot better about this Texans team making a postseason run. I think they're a legitimate threat. And if they bring in Justin Simmons, man, to a defense that's playing already really good football, that's a scary team. That's a very scary defense, but I think a team that could upset someone in the AFC for sure. I really do believe that. So I have the Texans higher than the rest of those teams there, even though record-wise they might not be, but they're playing really good football right now. Packers are at 5. Packers are good. I mean, it's not really a surprise to anybody. They're a good team. Jordan Love's playing well. Defense is playing well. Jeff Iafrate, by the way, probably be a head coach next season. That's the defensive coordinator. I saw Adam Schefter talk about it. The Giants might be a team to watch for Jeff Iafrate. That dude's going to get hired somewhere. He's a really good defensive coordinator. Number 4, Seattle. Seattle does this thing where they just take care of bad teams. I got to give them credit. They blow out teams they're supposed to take care of. They do. They take care of teams. I've been consistent with this. And this doesn't affect the ranking. I'm just talking big picture. I smell a one and done with the Seahawks team. I do.
You've been hating on them forever.
Yeah, you know what it has to do with? It's not the defense. It's really Sam Darnold. We've seen big game Darnold. So
I don't know. Like, you can't, like, I actually was thinking about this the other day. You can't say that when the sample size is one game.
What do you mean?
Like, or 1 year. It's just been 1 year. Like, that's last year was his first year that he actually was like, you could be like starter in a big time matchup when it comes to the playoffs. And yeah, he didn't look great, but that was like what sample size, 1 year. So that's why when people say that, I'm like, you can't trust him. Like, dude, he's had one season where he was like a legit, like, since he's been good again, like a legit starter. So it's like, you really can't.
You're buying,
and he's on a completely new team with different weapons and different offensive line and different running backs and a better defense to back him.
Booner.
Yeah, you had nothing to say there. You were pretty quiet.
I'm just saying you're falling under the Sam
back
Darnold
down, bud.
You're falling under the Sam Darnold spell.
What are you talking about spell? He's had 1 year, man. He's done it 1 year. Like, if it was like 4 straight years, dude, if he was like the 49ers where it's just like every year they just every year they do this, but it's like it's been 1 year for him. He's had 1 year where he played a bad game in the playoffs.
So I'm only looking the biggest game of the year. He had 4 picks and 0 TDs.
He struggled in that game for sure. But what was the score?
Dude.
What was the score?
But my point is,
my point is,
he's the reason they're going to lose.
My point is even if he struggles, you have a good enough team to be able to withstand it. What was the score?
They lost by 2, but they lost
by two. He had 4 interceptions and he lost by 2.
That they lost.
Take one of those interceptions away, you win the game.
All right, well, add 5 inches. I'm in the NBA. I don't know what you want.
Come on, man.
Okay. Listen. I'm not buying into it. Clearly, you've been consistent. I'll give you that, Boone. You've been consistent.
I think they, as long as they don't match up against the Lions, because the Lions will beat them. Anyone else? I guess it depends on their matchup. We'll have this conversation come playoffs time.
I love that. As long as they don't match up against the Lions.
If they play the Rams or the Lions, then they're going to lose.
Okay, so if they play a good team in the NFC, they're gonna lose, is what you're saying. That's literally okay. I love that, by the way. The Broncos, I'm sorry. I know people, Bo Nix. We can go with Bo Nix and say the guy's,
Maybe you should have the same thought process with Bo Nix.
No, I'll say, but here's the thing.
Oh, but here's the thing. You actually like Bo Nix. You don't like Sam. No. This is personal vendettas against you.
Here's the thing. I can smell it with the Broncos too. I can smell it with the Broncos too.
I can smell it with the Patriots as well.
Well, Patriots, yes.
Yeah, you be consistent there, pal.
But Drake May he's an elite quarterback. He's elite. Like that's why the the Broncos have a great defense. The Texans have a great defense. Who would you trust more in a playoff game? CJ Stroud or Bo Nix? That's why I would say the CJ Stroud and
Bo Nix.
Technically, if the Broncos had a better quarterback, I would say that's a legit, with that defense.
Trust in Bo Nix.
Bo Nix could be the reason they bounce out too. And then I have the Patriots with
Bo in the fourth quarter.
Number 1.
Bo knows.
Bo Nix in the fourth. You don't want to see it.
He was like, remember, you don't remember this? I hope Ponch is watching. Do you remember? He didn't watch at this point, but I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when Kenny Pickett was the starter for the Steelers. Do you remember my argument every week for Kenny Pickett? He's the best fourth quarter quarterback in the NFL statistically. Look it up. He was too. He was the greatest. Statistically, he had the best stats in crunch time in the fourth quarter. Like, he was Kenny Pickett. Something about him all game. He was so bad.
Hey, best stats in the fourth against the Broncos and late in the game.
Yeah, what did he do? Threw a touchdown pass.
Didn't play too bad.
Threw a touchdown. I'm telling you, fourth quarter. I almost said Knicks for Bo Nix. Fourth quarter Knicks. Fourth quarter Kenny Pickett.
It's Kenny the closer Pickett. He closes games.
Kenny the closer.
That's all.
I'm telling you. I know you saw Tyler Shuck out there too, by the way. 2 rushing touchdowns, and he actually looks good. And I saw Louis Riddick tweeted out and was like, all you people who are hating on Tyler Shuck, everything showed that he was going to be great in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, no, that's been Louis Riddick's guy.
That's my guy too.
He's been
Booner, Louis Riddick.
Hey, well, Jeff Melkiper. with Shedeur. It's just and Joe Klatt.
Tyler Shuck. Everyone told me Tyler Shuck was going to be a bum.
My thing was he was drafted way higher than I'm going to be honest. I was surprised.
Yeah, no, I see, but
he was drafted super high, but they obviously like him. They like him over there in New Orleans.
Tyler Shuck. I sat and had breakfast with him at the combine. What's up, Ty? What's up, Boone? Good morning. Have a day out there today. He had his whole combine fit on. I'm at the table next to him. It was no one in the lobby, just me and Tyler Shuck. What's up, Ty? His girlfriend walks up, or wife, whatever. Hey, Mrs. Shuck. Boone. Yeah. He was eating his fruit. Said, good luck at the combine today. He said, Boone, good luck out there as well. Stay till I'm done throwing. And guess what? All the boys did. All the boys left me. I sat there by myself with Klotz, watching these Tyler Shuck throws.
Throwing darts. That
was incredible.
You looked at Tyler Shuck, you're like, hey, man, my sources say the Saints like you. That's what my sources are telling me. That's what you told Shuck. He knew right away.
Right away. He was like, yup. Kellen Moore, quarterback whisperer. The Lions, baby. Come on now.
You don't have him in top 10.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Where did you have the Bears, by the way?
I had the Bears at 9. I had the 49ers at 10.
We're actually me and you are pretty similar. I have the Bears at 10. I just look at 9 or 10. Listen, I think the Bears, I think they had a good win versus the Eagles. Every single win besides the Eagles win was just versus the worst teams in football. So they, and they kept winning those one possession games. Looking back at it, Jeff, I'm guessing that Eagles win doesn't look as good anymore. Right, like they're in a pretty bad spot right now, and it started with the Bears, and they caught them at a good time for them. So I think this Bears team's still good. Like again, I think they're gonna. If you did a Lions Bears game today, I would in Chicago. I think the Bears would be favorite. So I'm taking the Bears at 10. 9, the Jags. Listen, there's something with this Jags team, Jeff. There's something with this Jags team. They beat the Colts. I know you could be like, well, they haven't really won a lot of games. They've won 4 straight, and they've won 5 of their last 6. Like, they're right now, this Jags team's getting hot. They're going to have a chance to win that division, I think. It's going to be them or the Texans, and they're in a head-to-head battle right now to win that division. I wonder if they actually play each other coming up. No, they don't. They don't, but they split. They split 1-1, so that tiebreaker is going to come to the conference record. Number 8, the 49ers. Listen, the 49ers could be lower. I kind of agree with you on that. I think you had them at 10. They haven't really beat much, but they just find a way to win, man.
They do.
9 wins. Yeah, 9 wins already, 9-4. They just keep finding a way. At 7, the Texans. Listen, Jeff, I put the Texans at 7. I looked around at the power rankings around the national media. A lot of them had the Texans at like 10-12. Like, they didn't even have them high up there. So when I text you this, and when you made this list and I text you and said Texans at 7, I thought I was going to have them higher than you. You had them at 6. I thought I was going to have the Texans as the highest in the country. Like, I was like the only person in my power rankings to have the Texans where I did. And I was getting ready to come in here and be like, this defense they have the number 1 points per game defense, yards per game defense. When you
sent me your power ranking, I was happy because I was like, I'm glad we were close.
Yeah.
We were close.
But like, I don't know if you said you kind of do the same thing. You look around the national media, look around to see where people kind of, get a little feel for how, because obviously we watch a lot of the games. There are some teams we don't get to watch throughout the week. So I go try and read up, maybe watch a couple highlights that we'll see how this team's playing. I've watched the Texans multiple times the last few weeks. That defense is incredible. They can beat
anybody. Beat anybody with that defense.
I think offensively, we could say C.J. Stroud, a good quarterback. Like, I don't think offensively they're as good as people are going to make them out to be. I think Woody Marks is a rookie. I think he's good, and he's starting to get really good. I don't know if it's someone you can rely on. Receivers outside, I don't know if their receivers are good enough. Like, Nico is really good, but outside of that, you have guys that are up and down, right? So that's something to keep an eye on. But I like this Texans team, man. They're really good. I like the Bills, man. You already know how I feel about this Bills team. They just keep finding ways to win games, man. And if you have Josh Allen on your football team, you can win any game. Like, they're going to have a chance in the playoffs to make a run just because they have Josh Allen. And then Packers at 5, I hate to do it. I still think the Packers are a team that I think it's the same thing. Any team outside of maybe the Rams, you could just argue like any of these teams could be knocked off at any moment. But I do like the Packers at 5. They've gotten a couple big wins. Oh, and by the way, the Texans, Jeff, I want to go back to that because I wanted to mention this. Their wins the last few weeks, they beat the Chiefs, the Colts, the Bills, the Jags, the 49ers this year.
That's a crazy stretch.
That's 4 of those 5 teams are on my top 5 list. They've beaten the Jags on here, the 49ers on here, the Chiefs who just got off of it, and the Bills who are one step ahead of them. Like they have beaten very good teams, and it's because of that defense. Number 4, Broncos. Listen, I think like if I was to rank teams that are more like likely to fizzle out in the playoffs to be one and done, this 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. This is how I would actually rank it. That's what I thought. Like I think the Seahawks have a better chance of making a run than the Broncos. I think the Patriots have a better chance than the Seahawks, and then that's with the Rams. That's how I went about this. If I'm being honest today, I really did.
Yep, if that's fair. I think
these are all really good teams. Like I think any of these teams,
honestly, I think the Seahawks and Broncos are kind of in like a similar
agreed
bracket where it's like questionable quarterback, great defense. Like I think that's like where I'm at with both those teams. Better skill position players for the Seahawks, and so I think that you know what, if you want to give the nod to them, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I'm right there with you actually.
Their skill position players, it's not even a question.
But dude, the crazy thing I'm looking at these power rankings, dude, NFL is so open right now. It's
yeah, I know,
it's
like
hysterical.
The top, you have quarterback questions that need to be answered with 2 of the top 4, and then you have a team that's the youngest in NFL in the top 2. With the Patriots, you have you have new coaches on 2 of them with Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson. You have some questionable teams like the Bills have holes, the Texans have questions on the 49ers are everyone's on in.
Every team is beatable right now. Like typically there's a team like last year with the Chiefs and Eagles, like you knew they were 1-2. The Lions obviously at the 15-2. You didn't feel like you felt like they were going to make a run, and there was like no teams who were like, oh, that team can get beat. Like, dude, this year it just feels like any team, any day, any time. Here we go.
I agree with you.
I feel like this playoff matchups are going to move around so much these last 4 weeks. We just have no clue what's about to happen.
It'll be fun. We'll have the doc on tomorrow to cover the game.
Script writers got to love this, man.
Yeah, the doc, it'll be fun to talk to him. He'll be on tomorrow, so you're going to want to tune in for that. Before you leave, hit the like button on the stream. We appreciate it.
What are we at?
I think last time I looked, we were at like 80. Let me see. Where are we at? Let me see. I'll check right now. We're at 74.
Everyone, we need 16 likes. Just 16 people. 26. Bad math.
Yeah, 26. Close enough.
26 people.
Hit the like button on the way out. Do us a favor. Push us out in the algorithm. We're going to start doing it more. The likes, man, that's a priority. We'll get them up every single stream. We'll be back tomorrow with the DOC. But until then, we appreciate you all, and we will catch you tomorrow.
See you guys. Love you guys.
Peace.